Previously, on the Crazy Train.
Tell me what you did, Falcon.
I tuned an entire piano and rebuilt it.
As an act of revenge for him breaking up with her daughter, Sondra Brown falsely accuses the Judd's son, Caleb, of sexual assault.
There is no evidence of Laura ever being sexually traumatized because she wasn't. It never happened.
But when the Judds try to address the false rumors, they discover Sondra is hiding a darker secret.
Sondra would flirt with him all the time. She would routinely encourage him to come over when her husband, Jared, was not around.
The Judds try to resolve the issue quietly with their church leaders.
Some of the things that you conveyed about gossip and threats and stuff that's been going on that's inappropriate, that's on us to resolve.
But instead of resolution, the Judds get met with assault, blackmail, and fraud.
Don't come back!
The Judds reach out to upper church leadership to report local misconduct, but it falls on deaf ears.
This letter is basically saying, shut up, do what we say, and go away.
The Judds decide to go public in the hopes of getting some resolution.
We had literally tried everything in our power to resolve this quietly.
Two men arrive at the Judd home and threaten them with arrest if they come to church.
We're going to be arrested for attending church.
Hannah and Fontaine determine the ban letter is fraudulent and decide to attend church anyway, but en route get an alarming phone call from their son.
The guys are guarding the doors.
Well, we'll just record everything.
In the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, baptism represents a commitment to live a life like Jesus, to be a Christian. Both Hannah and Fontaine chose to get baptized into the church when they were 8 years old.
I love the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I've seen how much good it's done in my own life, the life of my parents, the life of my husband, and the lives of many others that I know personally.
Hannah and Fontaine dedicated their lives to serving in the church, including giving thousands of hours of time to fulfill assignments like seminary teacher, elders quorum president, primary president, and working with the youth groups and in other leadership positions. They also gave hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations to the church. Despite their love for the church, they were not oblivious to problems.
I've seen the great good the church does, but I've also seen the damage that uninspired leaders can do. My daughter, Tia, rejected her faith because of the behavior of Logan Shepherd and other church leaders, and in the process threw out some of those values that once grounded her, which led to her adopting new ideas that ultimately led to self-destructive behavior. My son Caleb had also come very close to completely giving up on his religion due to the actions of Sondra Brown, Bruce Holt, and Alan Smith. And my wife and I had worked very hard to help him rebuild his faith in Jesus.
The Judds were particularly upset by the letter banning them from church. It is widely accepted by most Christian traditions that church is meant to be open to everyone.
You want to know the real reason why I'm here right now?
Sure.
Came to hear my granddaughter sing. And I can't come and hear her tonight.
You have plans?
No. I'm not welcome.
At church?
Oh, you're always welcome at church. I'm not welcome with my son.
For members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, this principle is taught even more explicitly. In the Book of Mormon, Jesus taught, "Ye shall meet together oft, and ye shall not forbid any man from coming unto you when ye shall meet together, but suffer them that they may come unto you, and forbid them not. But ye shall pray for them, and shall not cast them out." The Doctrine and Covenants of the Church says, "Nevertheless ye are commanded never to cast anyone out from your public meetings, which are held before the world. Ye are also commanded not to cast anyone who belongeth to the church out of your sacrament meetings." When the Judd family received an unsigned trespass letter threatening arrest if they attended church, they assumed it could not be legitimate. It directly contradicted both general Christian beliefs and their own church's doctrine. As the Judds pulled up to the church, they noticed something seemed off.
Why are there so many people here? The parking lot's full. It wasn't full last week. It was odd because there were way more cars than normal, and we wondered if there was some special meeting or conference we didn't know about.
Wait, let's go.
Yeah.
As the Judd family was walking up to the church, Someone from the inside quickly shut the front doors and locked them. It was fellow church member Bob Trithall, and he pressed a copy of the Kirton McConkie ban letter against the glass.
Brother Trithall,
What are you doing?
you are doing the wrong thing. That is not from the church.
So should we just go stand at all the entrances until...
Brother Trithall, you're a coward if you do this. You are a coward if you do this. This is the wrong thing to do. The scriptures say do not cast people out of church.
The Judds noticed Bob calling someone or messaging someone on his phone, just as James Dimmitt came out of the building.
Hello. Okay. So, you've been served a persona non grata. Okay. You've been served a persona non grata. You know you're not supposed to be here.
No, we are supposed to be here.
The sheriff's officer is going to come, okay, and you will be arrested for trespassing. You received your persona non grata, and the conversation's over.
The conversation's not over, and you showing up at my house with a gun.
I'm sorry. You don't get to do that, young lady. I'm sorry. You don't
Get your hands off my daughter.
off my daughter.
This is battery.
I have my hand on
This
the
is
door.
battery. You had your hand on my daughter.
She's leaning into my arm.
The Judds' teenage daughter, who had arrived in a separate vehicle, had entered the church building unrecognized from another entrance. When she went to join her family outside, James Dimmitt grabbed her arm to prevent her from exiting the building. However, when the Judds suggested battery, James released his grip and allowed the family to enter.
You guys are not allowed kicking people out of church. You have kicked our family out of church. This is against. This is not. This does not.
How dare you?
The church.
How dare you?
You guys
Go on.
are going to get excommunicated for what you have done to my family.
As the Judds entered the church foyer, they were met by Justin Wright, Alan Smith's counselor in the stake presidency.
Hello, Brother Wright.
Not kick people out of church.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm
You
not.
guys are evil.
Jesus said I'm allowed here.
When Hannah attempted to enter the chapel, two church members placed their hands on her to push her out and quickly closed the chapel doors.
It seemed like they were trying to make sure that no one saw what they were doing, and that made me even more scared and panicked. And I thought, for our safety, I've got to get my family to where other people are. We'll sit and wait there until the police arrive.
Let's not do this today.
You know what? You know better. You know better.
And I'm sorry. The order says...
Instead of conversing with Justin in the foyer, Hannah entered the chapel. She was determined to sit near witnesses and wait until police arrived, if James Dimmitt had in fact called them. However, church had already been cancelled and people were leaving.
My eyes met people giving me these disapproving looks, like somehow I was the bad guy. I actually care about these people here, but none of them are standing up for my family. Nobody was coming up to me saying, "Hey, are you okay? Sister Judd, are you okay?" And I just thought, you know, these people, they've been gossiping about me and my family. They're okay chasing us out of church. I know they've done this to other people, all while pretending to be Christians.
If you want to ignore what Jesus has to say and pretend you're Christians, you go for it. But you are wrong. And what you have done to my family has been wrong. And shame on you guys for going along with it.
As Hannah was leaving the chapel, she noticed James Dimmitt with his cell phone out videotaping her, and it made her wonder why. The Judds would later learn that the events at the church that day had all been planned out ahead of time.
The what?
The order.
What order? Does it override Scripture?
In this instance today, it does.
Really?
Judd.
In what way? So a lawyer can override Jesus. You may want to think about that one for a second.
Okay.
While Hannah was in the chapel, Fontaine spoke with Justin in the foyer.
It appeared that he and others had copies of this ban letter, claiming it was from a law firm that directly contradicted the teachings of Jesus. I mean, come on, we were at church. Jesus said you should never cast anyone out, ever, ever. Show me where this overrides that.
Well, I've been instructed to give you this letter.
Yeah, have you thought about maybe it's not right? Just because someone instructs you to do something, did the Nazis Yeah, think about it. I was just told to execute the Jews. I was just told to. I didn't. I was just following instructions. Come on, man. Think about it. Is that okay? Wow. This idea that I have to follow orders no matter what, but not spend a second asking, is this right? Or is this moral? Or, I don't know, is this something Jesus would do? Is a very scary mindset.
Our church has a dark chapter in its history called the Mountain Meadows Massacre, where a group of members of the church blindly followed their stake president's orders and murdered innocent men, women, and children. We do not believe in blind obedience. And so I was confused why there were other members of the church going along with this and saying, oh, we have to obey orders. No, you don't.
Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're kicking my family out of church? Really?
I'm not kicking anybody out of church, Brother Judd.
The letter is?
Instructed from the church.
The church. Who's the church?
The church, Brother Judd.
Who?
This is shameful.
It is shameful.
Fontaine did not understand why Justin would not divulge who had written or authorized the ban letter.
And I'm sorry that that's how it is.
The scripture says
And why is it that way?
anyone out of church.
Because of you.
And giving me a letter saying I'm not
Why
allowed
is it
to
that
go
way?
into
Because
any
of you.
church for the next year.
Because you refuse
How
to address
dare
the
you.
issues.
If that's how you feel.
That's not how I feel, that's how it is.
Never cast people out, even if they've been
I'm sorry you feel that
excommunicated.
way.
Don't cast them out. I haven't been excommunicated. And you guys have sent me a letter saying I can't come to church for a year. You have no right to do that. And all of you guys going along with this is not okay. You should be standing up for me. Okay? This is Alan Smith covering his bum for doing things that are wrong.
Hannah was correct that Alan Smith was trying to cover up wrongdoing, but she would not find out the extent for several more months. It was much worse than she knew.
Sister Judd.
No.
Not appropriate today.
You know what? What you're doing is not appropriate. You are not doing what's appropriate.
You seeing this, Larry?
Locking me out of the church, making a scene.
You seeing
like
this, Steve? You seeing what they're doing?
How dare you do this? And to my kids. I have 4 kids that want to be baptized, and you guys have kicked us out. How could you do this? And pretend you're Christians.
I do not know.
How could you do this? This is wrong. This is wrong. It's not scriptural. It's not in the church policy book. And that letter is bogus.
Hannah noticed that there were additional individuals standing in the hallway who she didn't recognize. They were silently standing near Justin Wright.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I feel this way. This isn't a feeling. This is what you've done. How dare you misuse your authority? How dare you? And do you know how many other people you've chased away doing similar things? This is not okay. And I'm not putting up with this.
Steve, shame on you. You're a coward too.
Let's not do that in the church building, please.
You're right. We should chase people out in the church building. That's what we should do. That's what we should do.
The intent.
As Fontaine was speaking to Justin, a woman named Amy Morris walked over and grabbed Hannah's arm. Amy's husband was former law enforcement and appeared to have been guarding the back door that day.
Don't touch me. Do not touch me.
I'm not touching you.
You just did.
I asked you to move out of the way.
No, you touched me. Don't touch me. Keep your hands off of me.
I was weirded out by these women who thought they could grab me and push me, but then when Amy Morris did it, it didn't make sense. It was like she had been told to do it, but didn't have the mental capacity to know when to do it. So she just randomly grabbed me and then lied to my face about doing it.
Do not touch me.
I'm not touching you.
You just did.
It almost seemed like she was excited to be part of the action, that she had done her part. And I was thinking, if I didn't have my camera out recording, what would they have done? Like what was their plan?
The Judd family had been at church approximately 5 minutes, and they were not sure what to make of what was going on. They did not understand why it appeared there were so many people involved, including Bob Trithall.
He pressed the ban letter up against the glass, and I wondered, how did he get a copy of the ban letter? Who gave it to him? And I looked at his face, and I wondered, what did he think was going on? Did he think he was doing something heroic? Who put him up to this? And what had he been told?
At first, I was confused, but that turned to anger because I thought regardless of what this guy's been told, he knows better than to treat other people this way. But also, I would never do this to him or his kids or his family. What grown man treats a bunch of kids this way? This was cowardly.
Then, when James Dimmitt came out of the church, Hannah and Fontaine did not know what to think.
The sheriff's officer is going to come, okay, and you will be arrested for trespass.
When he said we were going to get arrested, I began to panic. I remembered the arrest at the park, the police being dishonest, my husband getting taken to jail, my daughter getting taken away from me, the tens of thousands of dollars in legal debts. All that stress and trauma came racing back, and I thought, this guy, James Dimmitt, it's Stacey Patterson all over again.
And you showing up at my house with a gun.
I'm sorry. You don't get to do that, young lady. I'm sorry. You don't
Get your hands off my daughter.
off my daughter.
This is battery.
I have my hand on
This
the
is
door.
battery. You had your hand on my daughter.
She's leaning into my arm.
When James Dimmitt grabbed my daughter and then turned around and blatantly lied about it to my face, I thought, he's former law enforcement. His word will trump mine by default. He's armed and he's willing to use physical force and lie about it. What's to stop him from hurting me, my husband, or my kids, and then claiming that it was self-defense?
I'm sorry. You don't
Get your hands off my daughter.
off my
This
daughter.
is battery.
I have my hand on
This
the
is
door.
battery.
He crossed a boundary there, and I started to get scared at that point. Why are there armed men at church? Isn't that against church policy to bring weapons to church? We certainly didn't have any guns or weapons.
Then, when the Judds entered the building, they found more people who appeared to be involved.
There were people who looked concerned or confused, but then there was Justin Wright standing there, and he had this weird smile on his face. And I got mad at him because, unlike Bob Trithall, who maybe had been lied to or given misinformation, Justin Wright, he knew what events had led up to this. He actually knew. He knew that Sondra Brown had spread false rumors about my son and our family. He knew all about the violent assault from Jared.
Don't come back!
He knew about the blackmail from Alan Smith and Bruce Holt because I had told them myself. He knew better, and he was in a position to stop it. But instead, it appeared like he was just condoning all of it.
Hannah was concerned about what had been said about her and her family.
You do not kick people out of church.
I went to walk in, but Julie Hansen put her hands on me and started pushing me out of the chapel. When she grabbed me, I quietly said, "Let go of me." I couldn't believe she was doing this. I had been attending church with these people for the last 6 years. And all of a sudden, there were members of the ward locking me out of the building and treating me this way. And I'm like, what false gossip have they been told that would convince them that what they're doing is okay? What is it that they're thinking that I did that justifies what they're doing? Because this doesn't make sense.
In moments of confrontation, people generally respond in one of two ways: fight or flight. Hannah was worried that if she left, the lies and rumors would only get worse. She determined there was greater danger in running away and instead chose to stay.
So during this whole ordeal at church, my husband stayed calm and collected, but me, on the other hand, I lost my temper.
You know what? You know better.
Okay.
You know better.
Looking back, I think if it had just been me by myself who Bob Trithall locked out of church, I probably would have just been like, geez, what a dork thing to do. I probably wouldn't have lost my temper. But the fact that they were doing this to all my children, that these adults were communicating to all my children that they were unwelcome and unwanted at church, and that somehow that's what God felt about them, and the fact that these people had planned to have us arrested for coming to church all in front of my kids, I thought there's no way any of my children are going to want anything to do with church or Christianity ever again.
You have no right to do that. And all of you guys going along with this is not okay. You should be standing up for me.
Something inside me lit on fire and I was ticked. I thought losing my oldest daughter, Tia, isn't enough. These selfish, petty people are trying to destroy the faith of all my children and, in essence, destroy everything that I've worked so hard to teach them. You've got to be kidding me.
My wife has sacrificed so much to be a mother, more than most. And so to have petty jealousy and gossip destroy what we've worked so hard to create, we weren't willing to allow that to continue. This wasn't a simple demand that we not attend church. This was an attack on our faith and the future of our children.
My husband saw that I was losing my temper and he quietly advised me to calm down, but I was really angry. And quite frankly, in my defense, I think God himself would have had some choice words for the people who were involved in this Welcome the Judds to Church committee that day.
You mentioned that you received a letter.
He just showed it to us.
He just showed it to us.
And seeing as that Alan has forged letters in the past, multiple times.
Yeah, Alan Smith has forged letters in the past claiming they're from the prophet. And they're not. I've called. I know for a fact they're not. So
Are you familiar with what the letter says?
My trust in Alan Smith is low. Okay? So saying, oh, this was that or that.
And then sending 2 armed thugs after us?
Yeah, and sending two thugs to my house and saying they're representatives of the Church of Jesus Christ. You know what real representatives do? They do what the missionaries did last night. They came to my door and invited us to join.
By the way, I don't even know your name. Who are you?
And why were you videotaping my kids in church last week, Brother Schmokel? What was with that?
Are you familiar with what's in the letter then?
Are you a lawyer?
No, I'm just asking if you're
Are you a
familiar with
lawyer?
what's
Are
in
you
the
law
letter.
enforcement?
I'm asking if you're familiar
Are
with
you
what's
a
in the letter.
lawyer?
Well, maybe we can
Are
read the
you
letter.
a lawyer? You're not answering my question. You answer my question.
Just go ahead and read it.
You answer my
Mr. and
question.
Mrs. Judd.
Are you a lawyer?
We regret.
I had never seen this guy tie before. I thought it was so odd that he refused to answer whether or not he was a lawyer.
We regret. We represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, how do I know that they
church.
represent the church?
This letter is to inform you that you are prohibited
I don't believe it.
from attending any meetings or entering any property owned, controlled, or associated with the church.
How dare you
wherever
guys?
located.
So you're saying
So
visitors
you're-
aren't welcome?
In this instance. According to the letter, yes.
Oh, wow.
You are prohibited from contacting any leader,
You seeing this, Larry?
missionary,
I'm hearing it.
or employee of the church.
Justin Wright slowly read the ban letter out loud in its entirety, so the Judds and everyone else present could hear.
Here was Justin Wright, banning me and my wife from church, smiling and acting all self-righteous about it, all while knowingly covering up some pretty nasty behavior from the Bishop Bruce Holt, the stake president Alan Smith, and Jared and Sondra Brown.
Contained in this letter.
I want everyone to make sure you recognize the smooth-faced hypocrite. Just on display here.
Longer. Sincerely, Kirton McConkie.
You're now familiar with what the letter says.
Look, are you a
Would you be willing to
lawyer?
go?
Are you a lawyer?
I'm not saying that
Okay,
I am.
I
Would you
have.
be willing to go?
I do not believe this is from my church, and I do not believe this represents my
why
church
not, Hannah?
because it says don't contact the law firm that sent this. That seems suspicious. I can't call them and go, hey, did you actually send this letter? Can't do it. So why in the world would I believe that? It's not signed by anybody.
I mean, you had Steve, what's his noodle here, shutting the door on our face, really? And you got this thug over here, whatever, James Dimwit, an armed individual threatening me.
Understand what's in the letter.
No, I don't. Sure don't.
Sure don't.
It's very confusing
I do
to
not
me.
understand what's in that letter.
Fontaine noticed that when he claimed James Dimmitt was at church armed with weapons, Justin Wright quickly changed the subject.
I've been asked.
You've been asked. I love that phrase too. Who asked you? Who asked you?
I have been asked to.
Who asked you?
By whom?
Who asked? Go ahead. Say it out loud.
I've been asked.
By whom? This is
You're
very
being
vague.
cowardly.
Law firm.
This is
Wait, who? Yes, who?
Who? who?
Law firm is not a person.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There it is.
wow.
There it is.
I found it very telling that Justin Wright refused to let us know who was behind this. Why wouldn't he divulge that information? What was he hiding?
There it is.
wow.
There it is.
It doesn't matter. It
No.
matters to me.
Your responsibility is to do what's right. You're not doing what's right. So I don't care what you think. I'm sorry you feel, wow, do you guys practice this? You like have a club where you practice, I'm sorry you feel that way, it doesn't matter, and it's in the past. Do you practice that? Because those are really good.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow.
At approximately 10:20 a.m., 2 officers from the Placer County Sheriff's Office arrived at the church building in Granite Bay.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Hey.
Can I speak to whatever side first that wants to talk to me? You guys want to talk separately?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Not this guy.
I'll talk to you.
No, not that guy.
All right.
He's the problem. No, he
I'll be right
doesn't.
outside, okay?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I noticed James Dimmitt came out of the chapel and announced he was the one who represented the church and would be the one to talk to the police.
All right. So he's the problem.
As I watched him walk by, I thought, if James Dimmitt represents the church, then this church sucks. But the good news is I know James Dimmitt does not actually represent the church, nor does he represent Jesus Christ in any way.
Hannah and Fontaine had many questions about James Dimmitt.
I thought it was so odd that James Dimmitt was the one handling this. Shouldn't it be the stake president, Alan Smith, or his counselor, Justin Wright, who was standing right there? Why weren't they the ones talking to the police? Wasn't this letter from them? Or was this James Dimmitt fellow hired by the church? And if so, then who hired him? Alan Smith or the Kirton McConkie law firm? And why was he armed? And why did he think it was okay to grab my daughter?
The Judds reasoned that if James Dimmitt did in fact represent the church in an official capacity, then he should not be carrying weapons in the building and using physical force. But if he did not represent the church officially, what was he doing? And who put him up to it?
You want to tell me what's going on then?
Basically, these guys are trying to stop us from going to church. We're dressed up. We're members of the church, and they're trying to stop us from coming in here.
And we haven't done anything wrong. They're just harassing us.
This guy actually assaulted and battered my daughter, and the lady who already ran away also assaulted and battered my wife when we tried to come in.
Okay.
So,
you guys have that on video?
Yes, I have it on video. It's all on video.
Okay. So as of right now, I was told that you guys were served a trespass notice that you can't be here.
They just read it to us.
But here's the deal. There's a trespass notice, but the trespass notice says on the notice that we can't call and verify that it's legitimate.
Okay.
And so we're saying, hey, if this is very suspicious because you're saying that it's from this law firm, yet in the letter it says don't contact the law firm or you're going to get in trouble. I call BS.
Well, because these people have also sent us intimidating and threatening letters that were also fake.
So
I don't think this one's real either.
Okay.
So
anything else that you guys want to tell me before I go speak with them?
They didn't give
This is infringing on our right to practice our religion, that's for sure.
There's no reason provided.
Part of our religion is to attend church.
Not just this one. They're saying you can't attend church anywhere. You can't talk to missionaries. You can't. They don't actually have the power to do that, so that's the other reason I don't believe this letter's legitimate, because they're like, you can't talk to anybody in leadership positions in this church. My dad's in a leadership position in this church. Talked to him yesterday. Are you going to arrest me for that?
But more importantly, these people are making false accusations against my family and harassing my family. They called CPS on my family, knowing full well that that was a bogus call. They've also tried blackmailing and threatening and extorting my family.
A lot of crimes.
And we actually have a documentary that documents all of it.
All right, I'll be right back.
After hearing what the Judds had to say, the officer went outside to talk with James Dimmitt.
At that point, as I looked around, I realized there were a lot of individuals I didn't recognize, and they appeared to be there as part of a group. I counted about a dozen people, many of whom had their cell phones out videotaping, and others were walking up and down the halls as if they were patrolling them. It seemed like they were all doing some sort of group project, and the project was to get rid of us or something. It appeared they had a lawyer there, they had a member of the stake presidency there, and they had former law enforcement there, and they had disseminated copies of this fraudulent ban letter. It was really weird. I couldn't help but think, was this whole thing planned out?
You didn't tell me your last name.
My name's Ty.
What's your last name?
I'm not hard to hear.
Then what's your last name?
This is cowardly. You know my name. My name is Hannah Judd.
I'm Fontaine Judd.
And I'm disappointed. Very nice to meet you both.
Is it though?
It is.
So why won't you tell me your last name? Well, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? What about you? What's your name, Beardy?
Oh, he's
What's his name? He's there videotaping.
okay. All right.
What's your name? All these silent people.
Bishop Bradford.
Watching people being marched to the guillotine and you're just there
You're not
standing
gonna
idly
stand
by.
up for us.
That's awesome.
You're gonna allow these people to hurt us? Is that, and pretend that you were our ministering brother?
Been in my home?
You're gonna
You've been in
allow
my
this-
home, I've been in your home?
You're not gonna speak up for us?
Really?
And you're gonna do this to us? I looked down the hall and I noticed Ryan Bradford there just watching. He had been our ministering brother and he had pretended to care about us. He remembered our birthdays, he had been to our home, but now that he was the bishop, he was just standing there allowing this to happen, watching people try to get us arrested on false charges. And he knew our family and he knew that this was wrong, but he stayed silent, just hiding there in the background. What was he so worried about that he couldn't stand up and do the right thing? All those visits in the past seemed very fake and empty now, and from my perspective, he looked like a very little man.
You guys been instructed not to talk, or you just all mute?
Are you relying on gossip that you've heard?
Uh-huh.
Because
That you know not true, that isn't true?
it's not true.
He knows it's not
Everybody's
true.
been gossiping about us, and the gossip's getting worse and worse and worse, to the point that you guys are willing to treat my family this way.
And we tried to resolve it, and Bruce Holt spread the gossip, so we took it to Alan Smith, and instead of dealing with the gossip, he threatened, harassed, and blackmailed and tried to extort us. This sounds like the Church of God.
It was such an odd juxtaposition to see these so-called leaders trying to kick me and my family out of church, hurting my little kids in the process, but all while standing in front of a picture of Jesus being kind to little children.
At that point, another man entered the church and requested to speak with the bishop.
Bishop Bradford.
Down the hall.
Can he come out real quick?
Yes. Sure.
Oh, he's not mute. He can speak.
All right.
Fontaine noticed it was the same man who had come to his house 2 days prior.
It was the guy who refused to take off his sunglasses because they were supposedly prescription.
Can you take off your sunglasses, please?
No.
Why not?
Because of prescription.
But apparently he didn't need his prescription sunglasses today.
As Bishop Bradford was exiting the building, the Placer County Sheriff's officer came back in and addressed the Judds.
So just real quick, this is a private establishment. I understand that it's a church, but it's a private establishment, right? So the bishop, as well as the agents that work here, are asking you guys to leave. Okay, so there is a crime here. You guys are trespassing. If they've told you to leave and you guys are refusing to leave, we come here, we ask you to leave, you refuse to leave, right? There is trespassing.
Fontaine and Hannah believed the officer had been given bad information.
He was saying we had been trespassed by the bishop, but he hadn't talked to the bishop. Bishop Bradford had been hiding down the hallway the entire time. The officers had only talked to James Dimmitt.
All right. Are you the bishop, sir? All right. Sure. Do you want to speak with him? Yeah, of course.
Also, Bishop Bradford had never told us we were not welcome. In fact, the previous week he had said the exact opposite and said it was good to see us welcome. So what was James Dimmitt telling the police? Was he claiming he was the bishop? If so, what authority does he have to represent the church to ban us worldwide?
There's also another penal code as far as disrupting a legal service or a religious service, which technically you guys have done today, but we're not here to try to cause any issues, right? We're just trying to help both sides come to an agreement. So
The officer suggested we had committed a crime of disrupting a church service, and I thought that was actually backwards. I was not the one who had shown up to church armed. I was not the one who had slammed the doors and locked them. I was not the one grabbing other people by the arm, nor was I the one assaulting and battering people who were trying to enter the chapel. It seemed like the opposite of what he was saying. It seemed like the people who had organized this event were the ones who had disrupted the church meeting that day. You understand why it would make me call into question the legitimacy of this letter, because legally, how can they put those restrictions on a person that's not signed by a judge?
So I don't want to say that I understand, because I'm not going to say that just real quick. I don't understand where you're coming from and where you're at. I hear what you're saying, and it can make sense, right? But I don't want to say that I understand because I'm not in your position. The only thing that we have to do here is to talk about you guys being here, right? The other stuff in the letter, if you don't agree with it, right, or you don't believe the legitimacy, that is understandable, right, because of the other stuff that you guys spoke about. Without seeing those, without being in your guys' shoes, I can't say that I understand fully. Does that make sense?
Regardless, there's other laws that we're enforcing this morning.
Okay.
So we need you guys to leave.
It appeared James Dimmitt had somehow convinced the officers to enforce trespassing, but to completely ignore our claims of assault and battery.
As they were leaving the church building, Hannah had some parting words for Justin and the other men standing by him.
This has been a great lesson that you guys have taught my children to be welcome at church. And I hope you stand up for me.
Stephen, I'm disappointed in you. I am very disappointed in you. Yeah.
This is wrong.
For the rest of the day.
People out of church is never right.
To cover your butts for what you've done, shame on you. Just shame on you. Shameful. Truly shameful.
You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse.
After being told to leave the church building by the police, the Judds drove home.
I was stunned at what just happened, like I was in a weird dream or the Twilight Zone, because something like this would only happen in a really funky dream. I've been going to church my whole life, and I've never heard of something like this happening. What was going on at my church?
As soon as we got home, my 6-year-old cornered me and begged me to never go back to that church. He did not want me or my husband to go to jail, and he was very anxious about that. Okay, so what's going on?
We're going back to the same church.
And what's wrong?
I don't want to
Why?
go back to the same church
Why? Why are you crying?
because
What are you worried? What's wrong?
They're going to get arrested.
For several weeks after that, he kept coming up to me for reassurance. He kept saying to me, Mom, you and Dad need to go to a different church. Please don't go back to that church. I don't want you taken away by the police. He was upset, and so were my other kids. And I thought, if any of my kids have any desire to have anything to do with the church after all this nonsense, it will be a miracle.
Once home, Fontaine asked his daughter Superstar her perspective on what she had witnessed at church. She had arrived earlier than the rest of the family and saw more of the goings-on.
So Falcon parks the car, I get out before he's finished parking, and I go around the church. I go in, I say, good morning, and I check, and sure enough, there are 2 people at every door.
2 people?
Yes, 2. So I pass them, they let me in, and then I walk straight across, and on the other side, there's Brother Trifle, and he's just like standing like this. I'm like, okay, he's guarding the door. And then I go around, and sure enough, there's the other guys. So I walk around, and at the other doors, there's a guy that was videotaping us last week. And so I go back to the car, I'm like, yeah, there are people guarding.
Superstar explained that she left the building and had Caleb call Hannah and Fontaine to inform them of what appeared to be going on.
I had been attending that congregation for 6 years, and they never had people there at the doors greeting people, let alone guarding the doors and monitoring who came and went. This was definitely a unique situation.
So I walk in, I was like, good morning, and he like looked at the other guy and like was like, should I let her in? And he like reaches to stop the door, but the other guy just like shrugs. When I first came in, Brother Nuttall was like, oh, good to see you, I love you, welcome.
Yeah.
I walked by Sister Russell and she wouldn't look at me. And so I go around, I see Brother Trifle slam the doors and lock them, because you could hear that there was a commotion over somewhere, like they wouldn't let you in. And so I walked in, and Michael Rose there. He's like, why aren't you letting the Judds in? And they're like, go away, go away. I walk by Brother Trifle, and I open the door. And the guy's like, sorry, miss, you're not allowed doing that.
I'm sorry, you don't
Get your hands off my daughter.
off my
This
daughter.
is battery.
I have my hand on
This
the
is
door.
battery. You had your hand on my daughter.
I was shaking.
Yeah.
My hands are really shaking. And you guys come in. And then I walk into the sacrament meeting. I'm gonna go sit down. And Bishop Bradford gets up. He's like, sorry, there's a family, not a commotion, but disturbance. They're disturbing it. And this service is canceled.
The Judds found it interesting that the bishop announced the meeting was cancelled because it had been disrupted, even though the meeting had not yet started and Hannah had not yet entered the chapel.
Why did he announce that we were disrupting the service? How could I have disrupted the service if the service was already canceled before I even walked in? Weren't they the ones that had created the disruption?
The Judds knew the bishop had not told the officer about the supposed disruption because the officer never interviewed the bishop, so they determined it had to have been James Dimmitt who made the accusation.
And there's also another penal code as far as disrupting a legal service or a religious service, which technically you guys have done today.
Now, you know why he said that, right?
Because
That's the legal term. He's been instructed to use the legal term of disturbing a religious function. Yes, and that's a crime.
Okay.
So they've been instructed on what to say and how to handle it. This was all planned out.
Into a disturbance.
Yes. Yep.
If they had just let us in and let us sit,
They planned it the whole thing
they
out.
planned it all out.
They did.
Oh my goodness.
So, and then Mom
using the
comes in.
legal term.
But that was before we were even in.
Bradford.
That was all that happened before we even got in.
The more information we got and the more we thought about it, the more we began to wonder if the whole thing at church had been planned out. It sure seemed like it. People in specific positions, people guarding doors, lawyers, ban letters being distributed, announcements being made over the pulpit using very specific legal language, and others refusing to speak and just standing there mute. The whole thing was so bizarre. I couldn't help but think, who's behind this? And what is it that they're trying to accomplish here?
You don't go to that much trouble to cover up misconduct unless the misconduct is really bad. They had to be hiding something they didn't want anybody to know about.
Fontaine did not know how accurate his assessment was, but he was going to soon find out.
true. Someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where